All right, man. What's happening, beautiful people? We're gonna do a word problem here. Here we go. Jim had $80. He spent 57% at the store. How much did he have left? Okay, so if he spent 57% at the store, what percent does he have left? So 100% minus 57%, okay, is 0. This becomes a 9. This becomes a 10. What do we got? 3, 43. So he's got 43% of $80 left. 43% of $80 left. Okay? Now, the fastest way that you could do that, right, is using a decimal. So 43% written as a decimal is 0.43. And then you multiply that by the number 80. And then once you do that, folks, that will give you the answer. 0, 3 times 8 is 24. Okay, go to the next one. You don't even need this 0 because that won't even matter. Go to the next one. What's 4? That's a placeholder. What's 4 times 0? That is 0. What's 4 times 8? That's 32. 0, 4, 4, 3. And how many decimal places do you got? 1, 2. The answer is going to be 34. Oh, there we go. B. That's your answer right there. All right. Now, the thing is, if you don't like decimals, right? Let's say you don't like decimals, then you're going to have to do it another way, buddy. Make sure y'all rewind this as much as you need to. I would personally probably use that because it's faster. Sometimes I use fractions. Sometimes I just use the decimals. That decimal will work a lot faster here. If you don't want to do that, you'll have to do something like this. 43% equals something over 80. And then you're going to have to do 80 times 43. Which you could do the same way. That'll be the 34, 40. And then you just, yeah. You can do it like that. But, I mean, it'll be the same multiplication. You know what I mean? It'll still be 43 times 80. And you just have to divide that by 100. So 3, 24, 0, 0, 2, and then just divide that by 100. Because that'll be 100x equals 3440. And then you divide both sides by 100. Just like those right here. And that'll be just 3440. But in that case, I would definitely prefer to use a decimal. Okay? You can do either way. Whatever way you want to use. I would personally use the decimal because it's a lot cleaner and you'll get that, you know, with a lot less stress. Okay? Moving on. All right, let me make sure I focus it up. Okay, there we go. Cool. So with this one, you got 2x minus 8 is less than or equal to 16. All right. Now you don't see the equal sign. You see less than or equal to. So all you're going to do, you're going to do this the same way. Don't get freaked out by this right here, man. All right. You're going to do this the same way as if that was an equal sign. So add 8 to both sides. That would be 2x less than or equal to 24. Divide both sides by 2. X is less than or equal to 12. So a lot of people freak out when they see this because it's like, well, that's not equal now. Oh, what are we doing now? It's the same thing. Okay? Nothing different. It's the same thing. The only time that will change, right? Because I got to add that. Make sure y'all, take a screenshot or write that down. Pause the video. Whatever you got to do, man. Pause the video. Sometimes, right, if this number, this first number is a negative, this is one rule you got to write down, because sometimes they might have this, and this is what'll trip some people up. If that number is a negative, okay, and then you add 8 to both sides, okay, and then that becomes 24 negative 2x. If you divide by a negative number, if you divide by a negative number, this sign flips. So write that down, pause. If you divide by a negative number, this sign flips and becomes like this. If you divide by a negative number, this sign flips and becomes that way. That is the only time that it will change, okay? Now, you may have 1 or 2 problems like that, and sometimes people will be like, man, I know I got the answer right. But that's the only time it'll flip, okay? So that's a good thing to remember. All right? As I've always said, man, make sure you rewind as much as you need to, pause as much as you need to, go back. Make sure you write that rule down, though. If you ever divide by a negative number and there's a greater than or equal to or less than or equal to sign, that sign will only flip when you divide by a negative number. All right? Cool. Too easy, man. See y'all in the next one.